Dean, can I borrow you? Right, so just a recap from Thursday. Actually, a preamble before that, because Leslie's new and some of you are still not familiar with the basic of half guard or why we use half guard. Basically, there's two half guards, okay? There's the far away half guard, which I like to use. You know, it's socially distant, it's very nice for in this day and age. And there's the really close half guard when we're around about her. Yes, there's also deep half guard, but I consider that a close half guard. You've either got close half guard or you've got far away half guard. Okay? And the cardinal sin of all half guards is underhook, head control, what we call the smashed position. Okay? If you are using knee shield, the far away half guard, which is basically just your leg and shin across, it's very hard to get underhook and head control just because this is in the way. So as Dean comes, so most of his battle will be trying to get rid of this leg somehow, and it's very hard. Secondarily, the close half guard, if you're here, there should be no chance of getting my underhook and head control. There's just nothing. There's nothing there. So the danger happens in the in-between period, when you're having either a really terrible knee shield and it's sort of going away, and you haven't got that underhook on him. That's where you get the danger of being countered and like that. We're going to start from that smashed half guard position. Okay? Right, first one, underhook, head control. Let's just see if my microphone is not squashed. There we go. Good, thank you. So in this case, Dean is putting all his weight on my upper body and really trying to cross-face me and smash my face in. That means his lower half is light. And his hips are square over me. This is important. I'm going to talk a minute about where he takes his weight off. Okay? But for now, his weight on him. And this is a recap from Thursday. I'm going to trap the arm. And I'm going to push the armpit here. If you can't see what I'm doing with my arms, do move around. Here. And then the movement will go there. And I'm going to use my legs to swing this side. It doesn't end there because I have to get out of his half guard. Okay, I'll go into more detail there. I'll do this side. So I'm going to start from the smashed half guard. This is a horrible position to be. If you don't know what to do, your instinct will be to do something like this. And it's horrible, and then he just continues his pressure and then will eventually pass. But we can get out of here as long as his weight is on me. Trap, push. I use a V, push. You can also use a sort of a punching motion here, but maybe that's more dramatic than you need. The V is fine, under the armpit, trapping. No need to underhook here, that's kind of weak. Trapping. And then I'm using my legs to just shove his weight over there. And as we roll, I immediately lift my head, drop my knee to the other side, and then we're in a much better position here. Anybody want to see any more details? Any questions? You think you got that? So that's a recap from Thursday. I'll come around and help you if you have questions, okay? 1, 2, 3, let's go. Let's talk about a scenario where he shifts his weight. I'll borrow Dean, but this time I'm on top just to demonstrate what I mean. When I get in half guard and I'm lucky enough to get past the knee shield and I attack head and armpit, which is what all good people passing the half guard should be aiming for, I don't like to remain on top. Not very heavy anyway, so I don't see any point in me trying to lift my bum up to create more pressure, because that means this bit is too light. And also I don't want to align my hips because it's just too easy to be rocked from one side. I like to see how I drop my leg, because I realize I'm facing the wrong way. This makes this leg light, which makes it potentially easier to extract. We'll turn around so we can do. So as I say, from this smashed half guard position, I like to drop my weight. I'm not on the floor. Okay, I'm not totally. Andre, yeah, join in. I just shift my weight subtly and my hips face his hips. That means if Dean tries the technique that we just did, it's much harder because I can base out. Equally, it makes it potentially possible to extract my leg, or at least that's the aim. So we need to learn how to deal with this bit where I shift my weight to one side. So we're going to replicate that with me on the bottom. Fighting here, smashed half guard, Dean shifts his weight. I mean, he can still have the weight on me, but it's just shifted to that side. he has the underhook here on this side, and I don't have the ability to push him that way. But this leg is the weak point here. So if I can just block here, all right, and it doesn't even need my leg pendulum thing. I just bridge, and then we're here. And if you're fortunate, you'll carry on and you end up in the same position. Now for the blue belts and above, what I said before is you have the option of this escape, or we go back into half guard, or this escape to get to mount. The key point with that maneuver is you want to pin the shoulders and head down, so you have the option either or, whichever presents itself. If you really want to get points and get mount, that would be, the last one would be the best choice for you. Just to recap again, for white belts, all I'm looking for is the maneuver. Your top person should have shifted their weight to one side. Yes, kind of in that position here. We have the ability to just shunt the person that way, but if I did it without blocking this leg, he just faces his leg out and counteracts. Just little touch is all you need. This foot, this one does not rely on pendulum action. I'm just stamping the ground and bridging there. You can see the action already. Here, I'd like to put the hand on the floor to create a counterbalance on the other side, just in case he counter pushes me. There's a lot of to and froing with this kind of maneuver here, and then work out. Blue belts, I expect you to work out your favorite exit strategy. Either exit or get to a superior position. Straightforward, again, fairly simple, but I think very effective. Any questions, ask me when I'm walking around. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So, the thing I look out for any technique, especially defensive techniques and escapes, is the simpler the better. The less moves. If you've got too many moves to remember, then chances are you're not going to get out of them. And this one is, you've had two choices so far, really. All it is this, or this. You know this, bridging, and this one maybe we don't practice in drilling, but it's not that hard to remember. The next one involves this maneuver, butterfly hook, if you like, and I'll show you the application of it, Adina, for you again. This time, smashed half guard. We do it the other way because I'm very one-sided with these techniques. So smashed half guard, and this time he doesn't have the underhook here, he just grabs my head. Yeah, this is horrible. This is horrible as well, this is common as well. Okay? What we want to do is turn to one side, here, like this. And then push, see my hands here? I'll turn around so you can see. I'm just pushing his hip down a bit. And this allows me to get this hook in. All right? Now, what I want to do is, actually we'll spin around because all the exciting stuff is on that side. I knew I should have prepared this properly before. And he gets an underhook here. The opposite version of what we had before. So I can't do my usual that side, and I can't do that side. You're kind of screwed from here if you don't get a hook in. And it's all about this foot here. So again, we want to push so I get a little bit of a shrimp, just enough to get this foot underneath his thigh here. All right, what we're going to do now is extend, and when we extend, I just mean sit up. This frees the right leg. I'll show you the other side afterwards. But basically I'm doing a butterfly sweep. Okay, I want to trap the leg and his elbow here, so that just means doing this. And I'm going to bridge over that side. Here, can you see my connection here? Here, and then you have a choice. There's kind of a knee in the way, so I can't get straight into mount, so I'm going to push the knee out the way and get into, Wayne's favourite technique, Kizakatami. All right, I'll show you from this side now. This time is instead of the usual and expected and orthodox head control and underhook, and he does the opposite version.
This one or?
Yeah. Which is kind of still, it feels odd, but it's still valid for you, isn't it? It still pins me down. Right. And crucially, it stops me from doing the first one, that one, and it stops me from doing the second one. I can't. Try it for yourself. It's very hard. But what I need to do is get this leg involved, the free leg. Okay? Push the hip down and shrimp out. Insert the foot if you can. If you can't get it in, that helps a bit. Now I need to stretch him that way, and all you can do is just sit up a bit. Now that frees this leg. And this foot has to be on the floor. Now you can do the thing with your hands. And see how what I meant about this knee is in the way? I can't sit straight into mount. It ends up nicely into kezakatami. So the whole thing without me waffling. Even though I'm putting my arms in the wrong position. What I didn't do, sit up, free this leg. Yeah. Little tip, if you do end up in kezakatami, I'm not an expert on this, perhaps I should get Wayne to do a seminar on this, but this is lazy kezakatami, it's so easy to counter. Don't do this. Do this. You're putting pressure on the ribs, and you're leaning into them, and there's many other variations, but yeah, don't sit back. Try that, as I say, after the spiel about complex techniques, that's way more complicated than I wanted it to be, but a useful one to have. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So far we've looked at the smashed half guard with the conventional head and underarm control, and I would suggest that you study those two, the first two that we did, and try and work them into an automatic response that you do. The one where the alternative head and armpit grip is usually not through his choice, but because if Dean, as I'm trying to fight my half guard here, it's usually, normally he wants this, but I'm not going to give him this. So he just grabs the head. Yeah, and then this one comes automatic, because when someone grabs the head, it's instinctive to go, like that. So, as I fail here, he's not getting up, and then he's got what he wants. There are scenarios, we'll do it, yeah, we'll carry on this way. There are scenarios where, even with the conventional armpit and head control, there isn't much you can do. He's just solid. Not because he's putting pressure on, but he's evenly balanced. Okay, so we're going to do, and you've tried all this, you've tried that, you've tried the butterfly hook, nothing's working. All you're left with is the ability of your feet to move. And that's where the lockdown comes in. Are you okay for the lockdown? Yeah.
Yep.
So, if you've not done the lockdown before, listen carefully. The outside leg, the one that's free to move, okay, goes over the leg here, and you free the half guard leg here. The half guard leg goes over your outside leg and hooks underneath his foot here. So far, so good, no threat to him. And nothing happens until you lift up and stretch out. And then what you want is, rather than pushing him away, you want him over your head. So what we're going to do is bring him over me, and that gives you space to move. We want to move either that way or that way, and again, it involves my legs. In this scenario, I feel Dean's weight is going there, so I might as well direct him over there, then we end up here. I'll go over that again, and I'll switch positions for the third time round, so you can see properly. At the moment, nothing's changed with my half guard position. Perhaps it might be easier to let go of the half guard, but the moment you do that, he sees an opportunity to pass. So you always want to keep some control over this leg. So good advice is to keep the half guard hook here and incorporate the outside leg first. Maybe it might help to bring this out a bit. Then you can release the half guard leg. It goes over your left leg and underneath his. If you have a hard time hunting for his foot, okay, just move your hips around. Nothing happens until you start stretching and lifting up. Don't just stretch down here. Nothing's really happening to you, Dean, is it? In fact, I'm pulling him downwards, which I don't want to happen. Okay, lift up. Hands on the hip, because you will have those available. There's no point trying to protect here. He's got what he wants here. Hands on the hip. And then we're going to try and bring the hip line up a bit. Here. All right? And this time I feel Dean's weight is going that way. So we're going to direct his weight over here. And then we can pass in a conventional method. I'll switch around so you can see what's happening with the legs to you guys over there. Smash half guard. And to be honest, it doesn't matter which configuration. You basically are stuck here. You could do it any old configuration. The point is, I can't really move my upper body, but I can move my legs. Normal half guard, step over, free the bottom leg, take it over your new half guard leg, stretch up and out. Hands on the hip, and we're not pushing him away, we want him over us. Here, okay, in this case I see Dean basing out. I can't really do much that direction. Well, it doesn't matter, I'll go that direction. Okay, actually, let's do a version where he bases out with both his arms. Good. that's fine. I get underneath and start working my leg lock game, which is nice for me. Might be a bit complicated if you're new, but you have three choices. I basically want to show you. Let's get straight into leg lock. We're straight into lockdown here. Here, you have the choice to take him in that direction, or over. It really depends on what he does with his arms. He's basing out, so there's not much point pushing him there. There might be an option to push him there if I can trap this arm, or if he bases out with both arms, I can take him up and start working maybe butterfly guard. Lots of options. Look it up. Lockdown's very versatile and useful if you follow Eddie Bravo's 10th planet system, which I don't. That's pretty much the extent of my knowledge with the lockdown. But even there, it's very useful. Okay, let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3.